All right, I thought I'd do a video on consumables. Consumables are what I consider the rubber components on these land paddles, because a lot of times you're like, I'm gonna save a few bucks. You know, I can get a skate pole for 50, maybe 60, 70 bucks, spin it around, which is true. It's actually a pretty cool paddle. I have no complaints about the skate pole, you know, but you can actually do other things that would be similar to the skate pole, a little cheaper. You could even just get a, you know, a $25 rattan and put a Kong ball on it. You know, but the foot on the skate pole would be the thing that you would be talking about consumables. Their tip is actually the best thing going. The fact that it rotates and articulates really makes a huge difference in a push as you're pushing through, and it can stay planted and all the way through a push. Totally appreciate what they did there and why they patented that. Now, the fact that that does move also means it can break. I've seen, you know, some things where the nut that goes down into there that's threaded in there being solid into something flexible, you know, at some point through enough wear, anything gives in that type of situation. So no big deal. But again, you know, the tips might be 20 bucks, 30 bucks anytime you wear that out or it breaks. No big deal. But it turns, you know, depending on how often that happens, you're going to be, you know, if we say $50 paddle, get a new tip once, twice a year, you know, as much into the paddle as you do into the rubber itself. The kahunas, you know, always been the thing and the thing going. Again, it's a little more price effective. 70, maybe 90 bucks for a kahuna. The tip itself, again, it's 25, 30 bucks, and just not a lot of rubber on these from the start. And once they're kind of done, a lot of people try and do their own thing to just put more rubber on it to keep the miles going. But you know, if you're to get this paddle, go through these tips because you're slipping, you're going to be, you know, putting a lot more money into that setup just because the lack of rubber. And you know, I've only ridden this a little while, drug it a couple times, and it does peel off pretty quickly, unfortunately. The Kong ball classic, I actually drilled the hole to make this pole fit in there, because obviously if you're just running the normally and you try and fit the pole in this way, you've got the hole on the other side that, you know, is surface area that you're missing as far as contact with the road. So I did it this way just to get the best grip push. This is a big monster one. Nobody would want to run this big of a rubber tip down there because it's just heavy, but you know, a lot of rubber there that you can go through. It's going to take a long time to go through the old Kong ball, but generally once it's worn, it's kind of worn and done. And then you know, you buy another one for 10, 15 bucks, good to go. Unless you're drilling the hole, then it's just a whole pain procedure of like getting that hole cut out in rubber. It's not super awesome, super easy, but it's efficient, it's cheap. You know, this whole paddle right here still came in probably under 40 bucks. Not bad, just heavy, inconvenient because it doesn't collapse. And I don't necessarily like holding my hand sideways as I'm pushing. I'm more of a literal paddler where I want to feel like I'm actually paddling versus just pushing myself with the stick. So just my thing. The Brap stick, check out this car. Classic, that's dope. Started out with a foot like this, where we were picturing that it would have to, you know, match and touch all through the way through a push, and so we made it a little rounded to try and match whatever angle it was going to be on it to push. A little more solid. It wasn't ideal optimum rubber by any means, you know, but it lasted a while. There's a lot more rubber there than most that you can buy, and so it lasted for a while. But knew it was a piece that we were going to upgrade at some point, and actually did that this year. Tried a couple different molds. You see here's like one of the smaller ones. What was nice is they accidentally made this one, which was their mistake, which meant I got to actually try it out in this size. And then I went with a big size, and when I tried that one and saw the amount of surface area and things, that it was a little bit bigger than it needed to be, maybe a little bit heavier than it needed to be. And so we came in neutral, kind of in the middle there, and it's a similar dimension to the other foot as far as width. you know, length, not so bad. But this actually is just barely heavier than our original foot, and the rubber is actually different. It's really hard to explain unless you grab one and touch one, but the principle is the same as the push tip here. Is we need to just get into the whole reason why you articulate through a push is you don't want the rubber hitting and moving. You want it to plant and stay through your push. And so what this does is allows when it hits, there's flex in that foot, and this foot will actually kind of pivot. You see how there's a cutout and angle, so it helps it stay in place through the push. And the other added benefit is, again, the whole consumable principle is as you wear that guy down, you can pull it off and run it again. So maybe it's a little bit heavier, maybe it's not, but I figured it was at least very useful to be able to save the customer some bucks, keep you fresh, loaded up with fresh rubber, so you can paddle as much as you want, do as much as you want, and keep it going. And so even though the Brap stick itself, the price point's a little higher than others for the added benefit of the fiberglass spring, you get the, you know, the benefit of knowing you can run that foot twice. It'll wear really well. We're finding really good results with that. Good traction, good wearing. So you see how right there I can really see the flex in that foot and what it does. And you can run it twice. So that's another perk to the situation. Anyway, got more videos to check out. Just thought I was give you a little tip on consumables, where if you think you're saving a few bucks, sometimes you're not saving a whole lot if you're gonna buy more tips more frequent than you planned, just to keep yourself paddling. Anyway, check back, subscribe, drop some comments below. Late.
Brap stick.
Big thanks from Zen times 10 for watching. If you like that video, make sure you subscribe. We have future promos and contests coming up. Click that like button and drop us a comment on the way out.